Seven Days Battle were a series of 6 battles that took place over 7 days in the Civil War. The battles lasted from June 25th to July 1st in 1862.
The main battles that took place were the Battle of Oak Grove, the Battle of Mechanicsville, the Battle of Gaines Mill, the Battle of Garnet and Golding's Farm, the Battle of Savage Station, the Battle of Glendale, and the Battle of Malvern Hill.
The Union, commanded by George B. McClellan, had about 15,000 casualties. The Confederacy, commanded by Robert E. Lee, had about 20,000 casualties.
The 7 Days Battles was a Confederate victory, and it had a huge impact on the Civil War. On June 25, 1862, General George B. McClellan advanced his troops along the Williamsburg Road in Henrico County, Virginia. His objective was to bring Richmond in range of his siege guns. Union forces attacked over swampy ground, but results were inconclusive. The battle ended because of darkness. Confederate offenses could not be derailed by Union troops, and the battle was not officially counted in the war. The Battle of Beaver Dam Creek, the first actual battle of the 7-day battles, took place in the morning of June 26, 1862. Union Army lay within sight of Richmond, Virginia. The 5th Corps, being led by Fitz John Porter, a Union general, occupied the high ground over the swamps. Confederates led by Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson attacked and were beaten back. No Confederate had reached the Union line on the eastern side of the creek before. Lee lost his first battle as a commander of the Confederate Army. In the Battle of Gaines Mill on June 27, 1862, McClellan's men had held their ground against repeated Confederate attacks, but was shook by Southern aggression in the Battle of Beaver Dam Creek. On June 27th, the commander of the Union Army issued many orders to abandon supply trains and make a beeline to James River, where they would be protected by naval boats. McClellan was retreated, and the plan to take over Richmond was over. McClellan told Fitz John Porter's men to abandon their position at Beaver Dam Creek and withdraw to a new line behind a marshy creek called Boatswain Swamp. Porter, with his troops aligned for battle, was determined to withstand whatever rebels threw at him. He quotes, "Even to my destruction." The battle was a series of disjointed attacks and resulted in many casualties. Stonewall Jackson's men arrived and lent their weight on a twilight assault that ultimately overran the Union plan. It was a Confederate victory. In the Battle of Garnet and Golding's Farm on June 27 through June 28, 1862, Confederate General John B. Magruder demonstrated against Union lines south of the river at Garnet's Farm. The Confederates attacked again near Golding's Farm on the morning of June 28th, but were quickly repulsed. There were 830 casualties, and the Confederates' actions made the Union fear another attack south of the river. The results of the battle were inconclusive.
The Battle of Savage Station took place on June 29, 1862. The Confederacy struck at the Union rear at Savage Station, but had little effect. The bulk of McClellan's army was concentrated around Savage Station. On the journey to Savage Station, Union troops burned anything they could not carry. Stonewall Jackson crossed the river too late to crush the Union. They lost the opportunity because of poor staff work and because of Stonewall Jackson's less than aggressive approach.
In General Robert E. Lee's report on the war, he says, quote, "At Savage Station were found about 2,500 men in hospital and a large amount of property. Stores of much value had been destroyed, including the necessary medical supplies for the sick and wounded." The Battle of Glendale, which took place on June 30th, 1862, was inconclusive. The Union Army was in retreat toward the James River in the face of Lee's offense. Confederate attacks penetrated the Union defense near Willis Church. Confederate Major General T.H. Holmes made a weak attempt to turn the Union left flank at Turkey Bridge, but was driven back by Federal gunboats in the James River. This was Lee's best chance to cut off the Union Army from the James River. The last battle of the 7 Days Battle, the Battle of Malvern Hill on July 1, 1862, was a Confederate victory. With the Union on a hill, McClellan's Army of the Potomac had a huge advantage. The Army had the security of the James River and the strong U.S. Navy, so they stopped to invite the battle. Robert E. Lee obliged with a series of fatal frontal assaults that ended the campaign on a deceptively positive high for the Union Army. After the battle, McClellan's troops arrived at Harrison's Landing on the James River and nursed the wounded back to health over 6 weeks. In George B. McClellan's report after the Battle of Malvern Hill, he quotes, "I cannot conclude this report without expressing my thanks to the gallant and accomplished Commodore John Rogers for the valuable assistance rendered this army in various ways, but especially by the fire of a portion of the flotilla upon the flank of the enemy attacking Malvern Hill on the 30th of June and 1st of July. Their fire was excellent and produced very beneficial results." By this quote, he meant to thank everybody who helped him in his battle and was proud of his work.
The 7 Days Battle had more of an influence on the Civil War than any military campaign had.
After the battle, George B. McClellan quotes, "The Union, which can alone ensure internal peace and internal security to each state, must and shall be preserved, cost what it may in time, treasure, and blood." This shows that he still had hope for the Union even after losing the battle.
With the Confederate victory, the people in the South's hopes had risen, and the Northern people had started to lose hope.
Our Connecticut connection is the 1st Connecticut Heavy Artillery Regiment. It was an artillery regiment that served in the Union Army during the American Civil War and was engaged in many battles, including the 7 Days Battles.
The 7 Days Battle were a series of 6 battles that took place over 7 days from July 25th. The battles of the 7 Days The main battles that took place were the Battle of Oak Grove.
Stop!
The main battles that took place.
Why are you laughing?
Let me film myself.
Okay, go.
The main battles that took place were the Battle of Oak Grove, the Battle of Mechanics.
I won! Go.
The 7 battles that took place were the Battle of Gaines Mill, Battle of Oak Grove.
You messed
I
up!
know it's not in order.
You have to say them in order.
Why can't I do this?
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm
With
sick.
the Wait. Stop, shut up. Risen, and the people in the North crushed. They were mighty crushed.
Go.
Oh. The 7 Days Battle had more of an influence on the Civil War than any military.
Oh, okay. The Confederate victory. The Confederate
Go.
The Confederate victory brought rise in the hopes.
Your face.